Welcome to the Book Club podcast. You're listening to the audiobook edition of Becoming Her: How to Stand Out in a World Full of Beautiful Women
by Kamiko Chamo.
If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future chapters or upcoming book releases. This book is also available on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle formats if you'd like your own copy to read along or take notes. Now, let's begin today's chapter.
Chapter 18.
The Social Queen: How to Be Admired and Respected by Women Too. The difference between envy and inspiration. There's an invisible tension that can exist between women, the thin line separating admiration from envy. The difference isn't in what one woman has, it's in how another perceives it. Some see another woman's light and feel threatened. Others see it and feel ignited. The high-value woman understands this difference and intentionally chooses to be a source of inspiration, never a trigger for competition. Envy says, "Why her?" Inspiration says, "If her, then me too." A woman who lives with grace and self-possession naturally draws attention, not just from men, but from other women. Her confidence, her composure, her quiet glow can awaken admiration or discomfort depending on the observer's level of self-awareness. The key to being admired instead of envied lies in how you carry your energy, with humility instead of superiority, with kindness instead of pride. When a woman exudes genuine peace, her success doesn't feel like a threat. It feels like proof. She doesn't posture to appear better. She simply is better in her energy, her discipline, and her compassion. She doesn't flaunt her achievements, she embodies them. Her beauty doesn't compete, it coexists. Masculine energy is often drawn to women who are admired by other women because it signals emotional safety and social intelligence. But beyond attraction, there's a deeper truth. The woman who knows how to uplift others rather than intimidate them becomes a leader. And leadership in feminine form looks nothing like dominance. It's grace with groundedness, confidence with kindness, strength with softness. Spiritually, envy comes from scarcity, the belief that there's not enough beauty, success, or love to go around. Inspiration comes from abundance, the knowing that another woman's light does not dim yours, it reflects it. When you see another woman thriving and you choose admiration over envy, you align yourself with that same frequency. You attract more of what you celebrate. To transform envy into inspiration, start by reframing your thoughts. When you feel a pang of jealousy, ask yourself, what is this showing me about what I desire? Envy is a mirror. It reflects your unexpressed potential. Use it as fuel for self-growth, not self-criticism. The admired woman compliments freely. She celebrates loudly. She knows that what she praises in others strengthens within herself. Her aura becomes open, magnetic, safe, and that safety draws people toward her. So, love, remember this truth. Another woman's beauty doesn't threaten yours. Her glow reminds you of your own. The difference between envy and inspiration is awareness. The moment you choose to be inspired instead of intimidated, you stop competing and start ascending. Building authentic sisterhood. The most radiant women are those who know that their light grows brighter when reflected in the glow of others. Building authentic sisterhood isn't about having a crowd of friends. It's about cultivating genuine, soul-level connections with women who see you, celebrate you, and hold you accountable to your best self. It's an act of emotional maturity, spiritual alignment, and feminine power. For centuries, women were taught to view each other as competition. The media, culture, and even subtle social conditioning pushed the narrative that another woman's success somehow lessened your own. But the truth is, no one understands a woman's heart, struggle, or triumph like another woman. Sisterhood is not a threat, it's a resource. It's a mirror that reflects strength back to you when you've forgotten your own. Authentic sisterhood is built on honesty and safety. It's a space where women can be both strong and soft, where vulnerability isn't weaponized but honored. It's where you can share your dreams without fear of mockery and your pain without fear of judgment. It's where competition dissolves because everyone is too busy cheering each other on. Masculine energy may offer protection, but feminine energy offers connection. A woman surrounded by genuine sisters becomes unstoppable. Her confidence doesn't depend on validation from men because her circle already affirms her worth. She's lifted by women who inspire her, challenge her, and remind her that she's not alone in her growth. Spiritually, sisterhood is divine feminine communion, a return to unity. When women come together in authenticity, they amplify each other's frequency. They heal generational wounds of rivalry and rejection. They become mirrors of divine reflection, reminding one another of their inherent power and grace. To build authentic sisterhood, you must first become the kind of woman who can sustain it. Let go of gossip, comparison, and performative friendship. Be a safe space. Listen without needing to advise. Celebrate others loudly and privately. When another woman wins, let her success feel like yours, because in the higher feminine, it is. And love, when you find your tribe, those women who don't compete but conspire for your growth, cherish them.
Protect that bond.
Invest time and energy into it, because sisterhood isn't just friendship, it's soul alliance. It's the spiritual ecosystem that allows women to rise together instead of apart. A queen surrounded by queens doesn't lose her crown, it shines brighter. How to disarm female rivalry. Every confident woman will, at some point, encounter rivalry, subtle competition, passive hostility, or unspoken jealousy from other women. It's an unfortunate byproduct of insecurity and conditioning, not character. Society has taught women to measure their worth through comparison, to see another woman's light as proof of their own lack. But a high-value woman disarms rivalry not through confrontation, but through energy. She doesn't fight for position. She changes the atmosphere. When another woman feels threatened by you, it's rarely about you. It's about what you represent: confidence, peace, beauty, or grace she hasn't yet accessed within herself. The worst thing you can do is mirror her insecurity. Responding with ego validates her fear. Responding with grace transforms it. Your calm becomes her mirror. She'll either rise to your frequency or remove herself from it. Either way, you stay untouchable. To disarm rivalry, start by refusing to participate in the silent competition. You don't need to outshine anyone. You don't need to defend your position or diminish your light. When you step into a room, carry quiet assurance. Greet everyone warmly, even those who resist your presence. The confident woman knows that acknowledgement softens resistance. A simple, sincere smile can dismantle envy faster than arrogance ever could. Masculine energy admires the woman who can stay centered amidst tension. But beyond admiration, this poise speaks volumes about emotional maturity. It shows that your validation isn't tied to external approval. You don't need to win over other women. You only need to remain rooted in your peace. Spiritually, disarming rivalry is an act of higher consciousness. Instead of reacting to negativity, you transmute it. You understand that jealousy is just admiration unhealed, energy that doesn't yet know how to express itself as love. So, instead of feeding it with defense, you feed it with understanding. You send out calm energy, not out of weakness, but wisdom. Practically, this looks like maintaining professionalism when others gossip, declining to engage in divisive talk, and setting the tone for inclusion rather than exclusion. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer. Your presence regulates the emotional temperature of the space. And love. Here's the real magic. When you stop trying to compete, you become impossible to compete with. Rivalry cannot survive in the presence of authenticity. Your confidence becomes too calm to challenge. Your kindness too genuine to resent. Your energy too elevated to reach with negativity. A true queen never lowers her crown to prove her worth. She simply keeps her head high and lets others adjust. Lifting others without losing your light. True empowerment is never about being the brightest in the room. It's about helping others find their light while making sure your own never dims. The high-value woman understands that leadership and influence mean nothing if they're not rooted in generosity. She lifts others because she knows that abundance grows through sharing, not hoarding. But she also knows that her energy must be protected. Giving doesn't mean depleting. There's an art to uplifting others. It begins with confidence, the kind that's secure enough to celebrate another woman's success without comparison or resentment. When your self-worth is intact, someone else's glow doesn't intimidate you. It excites you. You understand that her win doesn't take away your opportunity. It expands what's possible for all women. To lift others without losing your light, start with intention. Ask yourself why you're giving your time, energy, or support. Is it out of genuine kindness, or are you seeking approval, validation, or belonging? True generosity comes from overflow, not emptiness. You can't pour from a depleted cup. You must give from your abundance, not your exhaustion. Masculine energy deeply respects a woman who empowers others while maintaining her own boundaries. She is the opposite of neediness. She's a source. Her kindness feels confident, not performative. She can mentor, support, and inspire without seeking to be worshipped in return. Her presence uplifts not because she tries to, but because her energy is elevated. Others simply rise in her company. Spiritually, lifting others is sacred work. When you help another woman believe in herself, you participate in healing the collective feminine. Every compliment, every word of encouragement, every moment of grace becomes a prayer, a ripple that strengthens womanhood as a whole. But spiritual giving is balanced giving. Even divine love flows in cycles. Inhale and exhale, give and receive. Practically, this means setting boundaries even while being supportive. You can cheer for others without carrying their emotional weight. You can give advice without becoming a savior. You can show up without abandoning yourself. The woman who lifts wisely knows that sometimes empowerment is not rescuing, it's reminding others of their strength and stepping back. And love. Here's the truth. Your light doesn't dim by sharing it, it multiplies. But only if you keep the source alive. The moment you start giving from guilt or depletion, you stop radiating and start draining. So lift others, yes, but let it come from joy, not obligation. When you rise and reach down to pull another woman up, the world changes subtly, beautifully, because empowered women don't create followers. They create more empowered women. Networking with grace. Networking is often portrayed as a strategic game, exchanging business cards, shaking hands, and selling your value. But for the high-value woman, networking is something far more elevated. It's not about collecting contacts, it's about building connections. Graceful networking flows from authenticity, confidence, and generosity, the feminine art of creating relationships rooted in mutual respect, not manipulation. When you approach networking with grace, your energy does the talking long before your words do. People remember how you make them feel. You don't need to dominate a room or over-explain your worth. You show it through presence, eye contact, posture, tone, and the confidence of a woman who knows she brings value wherever she goes. The graceful networker listens more than she speaks. She's curious, attentive, and grounded. She makes people feel seen, not scanned. This subtle difference changes everything. People are drawn to her because her interest feels sincere, not strategic. She doesn't rush to ask for favors or opportunities. She invests in relationships that evolve naturally. Masculine energy in professional or social settings is magnetically drawn to this kind of composure. When a woman's demeanor is calm yet warm, assertive yet kind, she exudes quiet influence. Men and women alike gravitate toward her because her energy feels trustworthy, not transactional. That's grace, making others feel valued while remaining completely centered in yourself. Spiritually, Networking with grace means you understand that divine timing governs connection. Every person you meet serves a purpose. Some will open doors, some will teach lessons, and some will reflect parts of you. When you network from alignment instead of ambition, you attract people who resonate with your energy rather than those who simply fit your goals. To embody this in practice, a lead with value, not need. Offer help, insight, or encouragement before asking for anything in return. Maintain boundaries. Be kind but never overextend. Grace is not people-pleasing, it's self-respect in motion. Follow up thoughtfully. A handwritten note, a kind message, or genuine gratitude leaves a lasting impression. Be authentic. Don't inflate or hide who you are. Authentic energy always outlasts performance. Graceful networking isn't about climbing ladders. It's about weaving webs, creating a tapestry of connections built on kindness, respect, and shared growth. The woman who networks with grace doesn't chase opportunities. She attracts them. And love, remember this. Grace is remembered longer than charm, and authenticity will always outshine strategy. The most powerful rooms open for the woman who walks in with good energy, clear purpose, and the quiet confidence of knowing she belongs there. How to be respected by men and women alike. Respect isn't requested, it's reflected. The woman who is respected by both men and women has mastered the balance of humility and authority, softness and strength. She walks into a room and immediately sets the tone, not because she demands reverence, but because her presence commands it. True respect is never about dominance, it's about alignment. It's earned through consistency, authenticity, and emotional discipline. To be respected by both genders, you must first respect yourself. Respect begins with how you treat your own time, energy, and values. When you carry yourself with dignity, others instinctively follow your lead. A woman who respects herself doesn't entertain gossip, tolerate disrespect, or settle for crumbs. In love, in work, or in friendship, she sets standards quietly and enforces them without explanation. Men respect a woman who is emotionally composed, one who can express emotion without losing control. They respect clarity, a woman who communicates directly, yet gracefully. They respect independence, not because she doesn't need them, but because she chooses to stand beside them as an equal, not beneath them as a follower. Masculine energy naturally admires a woman who knows when to lead and when to receive, when to speak and when to listen. Women respect a woman who uplifts others without judgment, one who embodies confidence without arrogance, boundaries without bitterness. She doesn't compete, she collaborates. She compliments other women with sincerity, knowing that kindness is not a currency, it's a strength. Her stability makes others feel safe, her peace makes others feel calm, and her wisdom makes others feel inspired. Spiritually, being respected by men and women alike means living in integrity. It's about being the same person in private as you are in public, consistent, grounded, and honest. People can feel energetic authenticity, they trust it. When your energy doesn't fluctuate based on who's watching, you become dependable, and that reliability translates into deep respect. In daily practice, earn respect through actions, not appearances. Speak truthfully, but with tact. Keep your promises, even the small ones. Stay poised when others lose composure. When you make mistakes, own them. It shows strength, not weakness. People don't respect perfection. They respect accountability. And love. Here's the final truth. You don't have to try to be respected when you're living in alignment. The woman who knows her worth, treats others with fairness, and walks in grace becomes impossible to dismiss. Respect follows her naturally, from men, from women, from the world, because her presence leaves no room for anything less. The quiet power of kindness. Kindness is often underestimated in a world that mistakes sharpness for strength and indifference for power. But true queens, the women who command rooms and influence hearts, understand that kindness is not weakness. It is strategy, discipline, and grace in motion. The quiet power of kindness doesn't shout, it radiates. It doesn't demand, it transforms. When you lead with kindness, you control the emotional temperature around you. A kind woman is not easily provoked. Her peace is her armor. She listens without judgment, responds with empathy, and moves with intention. Yet her kindness has edges. It's not naive, it's intelligent. She knows where to draw the line between being gracious and being taken for granted. To embody this balance, you must first redefine kindness. It's not people-pleasing or self-sacrifice. It's emotional intelligence expressed through compassion. It's offering warmth without surrendering your dignity. When you're kind from a place of strength, not need, your energy becomes magnetic. People feel safe in your presence because they sense authenticity. Masculine energy, especially, is drawn to feminine kindness because it represents balance. Men instinctively soften around women who show compassion without chaos, warmth without manipulation. A kind woman doesn't compete with masculine energy, she complements it. Her demeanor says, "I don't need to overpower you. I trust my influence." Spiritually, kindness aligns you with divine femininity. It connects you to abundance because it flows from a heart that trusts there's enough love, enough space, enough opportunity. When you act from this abundance, life responds in kind. What you give out through kindness returns as peace, favor, and opportunities that others chase but you attract naturally. In practice, kindness looks like this: speaking softly even when you have power, correcting with grace rather than humiliation, leaving people better than you found them, even those who tried to dim your light, showing mercy not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. And love, never forget, kindness is silent strength. It's the quiet confidence of a woman who knows she can be sharp but chooses softness instead. The world remembers the woman who led with empathy, yet never lost her boundaries. Because in the end, beauty may catch the eye, but kindness captures the soul. Thank you for listening to this chapter of Becoming Her. If you haven't subscribed to the Book Club podcast yet, go ahead and do that so you can stay updated on every new release. You can also find this book on Amazon in paperback and Kindle formats if you'd like a physical or digital copy. And if you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who might benefit from it as well. See you in the next chapter.